talk about this extraordinary moment for women, both in Hollywood and in the world at large, where women are finally speaking up and being heard on such critical issues as sexual abuse, pay inequity, and other disparities that exist in entertainment and media.
The future is always imagined in the mind of the artist, and that's why certain stories, certain paintings, certain sculptures, certain films, certain novels have been profound provocations, have been banned because they're shocking. Change is rarely polite and nice at first. I feel like the dam has broken.
Definitely.
There were cracks in the dam for an incredibly long time, and we were trying to sort of, put putty on them, and we can hold this together. But it's not just women. It's also men. It's also people of different sexual persuasions. Our job is, yes, to be creative, but one of our primary jobs as artists is to be fearless.
Yes.
And I think we are fearlessly examining the issues in our industry. We are in a particularly violent place towards women, and we have been for a decade or so. And I think that there's been a lot of achievements made. The universal suffrage was a long time ago.
Yes, it was.
But I feel like we've let a lot of things go as women. And we've put up for a lot of things for a long time, but the dam has broken. And I think there's no point putting that dam back up. Everyone has a different perspective on it. I mean, as an actor, for instance, I never want to tell an audience what to think about a character. I never want to tell an audience what to think about a story. You present it in warts and all, and you allow an audience to converse about it. The art is the provocation that produces the conversation. And I think the most important thing in this particular time is that we talk, yes, we express, yes, but we also listen. And I think that there's, as I try and say to my children, we have to put our listening ears on,
What do you think of the state of the movie business? It's difficult to get female-centric films financed still to this day. Where do you see this all going?
In the best possible way, women have stopped being patient and finding the ways that we work. I mean, it's really interesting that a lot of teams have emerged. People banding together, women working in writing teams or producing teams, or actors who have a directorial eye, or a producerial eye, starting to produce.
And is that appealing to you? Can you see yourself directing at some point?
I mean, it's a complicated thing. I have 4 children. I have a very rich life, which I enjoy in the theatre. I mean, I enjoy story in all its forms. I enjoy working with visual artists, and I enjoy working with people in the film industry. I'm impatient to stay with an idea for 5 or 6 years.
Do you enjoy playing real-life figures more so than original characters, or do you have a preference?
No. I mean, for me, it's strange. I mean, the character is really the last point of entry. It's the conversation. It's who you're in dialogue with. I'd read around a really interesting woman who was in a very interesting period of time, or whether it's recent history or deep history. But the story that was told about them was always a woman in a man's world. So basically, you're telling the same well-trodden story. And I think that what would happen is you put those characters, those male characters, in a really interesting, provocative narrative. And I think what's beginning to happen is we're now saying, okay, that female character is interesting, but I could read a biography on her. What's the story that we're telling? How are we going to use that character to tell a story that's going to provoke and inspire and incite?